Hi, this is Dr. Parikh, and you are almost done with your paper. This video is how to go through and check everything for your paper. So this is making sure you know all the sections that go in. Most of these are pretty standard, so if you look at the APA style resources, there are overviews of the sections and the order, but you can also get it here. So first you want to make sure that you have a heading. You want to check the fonts and spacing on everything. Make sure that your page number is over where it should be. Think about your title. Make sure that it reflects the focus of your paper. The first time you do a title page, I'm not that worried, but now I would like to see something that really tells the reader what the paper is going to be about, and then the running head up here should just be a shorter version of that. Your name would be here. This person chose not to have their name included on the sample paper. And then again, anybody can just use School of Psychology and Counseling. If you're from a different department or school, feel free to use that, or you can include both if you want, because you are writing this paper as part of the school. Don't include anything else for the student paper. We use the professional title page, but we don't worry about the note. Abstract is centered and bold. The paragraph is not indented. The word keywords is indented, italicized. The keywords themselves are a lowercase. You want to do a quick word count here of the abstract. Tools, word count. It's 159 words. You need between 150 and 250. Make sure that you mention that you have a clear purpose statement. This article does this, and then that you also have some limitations. You're going to have your title. Make sure that it is exactly the same as the title on the first page. Especially if you make a change in one place, make sure you make it everywhere. You're going to be checking for two sources here in the first paragraph. You don't need a level 1, that middle heading for your introduction. So you go right to level 2 when you start doing subheadings. You need to have a title or a topic sentence for every paragraph that explains the main point. And you need to have at least 2 different sources in your paragraph. Ideally, you're going to have at least some paragraphs with 3 to 4 sources. You also need at least 3 sources total. Make sure that your headings are bolded over to the left, that you have indentations for each paragraph, that everything is double spaced without anything before and after. So you could go all, and you could go custom spacing, and it should be double spacing, 0 before, 0 after. And all the things that I'm doing formatting wise, if you have a different style of computer, if you don't have or if you're using something other than Google Docs, these are all very easy to Google. How do you check double spacing on, and then say like Word, and then whatever version of Word you have. I usually include Mac in it because I work on a Mac, and sometimes the options are a little different there. You also want to check all of your, actually I just found a mistake here. You want to check all of your citations to make sure they're correct. One way, if you want to just do one check for citations, you can search for this front parenthesis. And every single citation should have a parenthesis. Even if you use the word in the sentence, the year will be set off. I just noticed this person oversights a little bit. I've been cutting it out, but APA style has clarified that if you are it's very clear that you are not supposed to cite again until it becomes ambiguous. Here they include 2 different sources. So we cite there. Now they're down to just 1, so even though they just cited it, we cite it again here. So we have, we have our discussion heading, centered, and again, don't try to use tabs. Use the align and center align. Then you have, and this is a level 1 heading right in the middle. You indent, and then you have level 2 heading for limitations in future research. This person has quite a few. They go beyond the minimum, so it's broken up into 2 different paragraphs. And if you look at older examples, there's 2 I have them do all the limitations at once and then all the future research. I've decided to give up on that. I think it'll be a little easier for students to list them a little more fluidly, and I think that is how we see it in articles usually. And I think you're still getting the main idea I want you to get from it. This person is combining, so many of their limitations apply to multiple articles. That's always a nice touch if you can have at least one that spans. Make sure that you have at least 3 separate limitations though. So if you have the same limitation for a few different articles, that's fine, and you're going to need to add in some extra limitations. Professional applications, I'm looking for at least 3 because I'm looking for 1 from each of your empirical articles. It's fine if you have more, but that's the basics that I'm looking for. And then again, conclusions, I'm not clear which it's supposed to be. So it's not always as consistent right now. I might find, you might find later that I figure it out or make a decision. Then you have your references. And this is also a good reminder to always check back for feedback. And part of your rubric is whether you have updated based on things that I've given you feedback on already. So check back to your reference page and your article notes to see if I've told you that there were mistakes there. I might not always correct the mistakes, but I will tell you that there is a mistake, and there are so many resources available to help. I will note there's one of these that does not have an issue number, and if that happens, you can go to Crossref and search the article. And here I look at Crossref and I see there is a volume, there are page numbers, there is no issue. I've also looked at the actual article itself, and I cannot find an issue number, so I have just accepted that it doesn't exist, and that's okay. References are alphabetical. This only has 4 sources because previously there were fewer sources and students had to go more in depth in them. Now I'm backing off to doing more sources but shorter article notes, especially for non-empirical sources. So you should have at least 6 sources. You need to make sure that everything that's cited gets into the reference list and that everything in the reference list got cited at least once. The actual page numbers don't really matter. What matters is that certain things start on new pages and that you have all the content in there. Most papers end up being something in the range of 7 to 9 pages total, but it really, I don't pay any attention to the page count at all. I am counting whether you're doing the things that I've asked you to do, and that's what the rubric reflects. The only place I'm counting words or pages is word count for the abstract. And as I look here, these all look good. Friendly reminder, DOIs, some of them push down to the next line naturally. Some of them, like this, do not. Don't push them down, that's an error. Make sure that nothing says Caldwell. If something does not have a DOI, I highly recommend emailing it to me to verify that there's no DOI. And also email me what link you plan to use, and I can tell you, yes, that's the original journal article link, or no, it's some other website. So if you see something like academia.edu, or there's others, I just can't think of them right now. There are places where academics can post PDFs of their articles so that people can get them without going through social media, or I'm sorry, not through social media, through journal articles or libraries. Those are not considered appropriate citations for here though, or links for here. Always always check Crossref for links, but if all else fails, there is instructions for how to get the best link possible. All right. And after you've looked through all of this, after you have all of these sections, all of this formatting, your paper is ready to be submitted. Ideally, set it aside for a day or 2, look at it again, try printing it out or reading it on a different type of device than you usually do, exchange with peers, do all of that you can, and then submit it and take a deep breath and hopefully get a breather for a few days or maybe even a week or 2. Take good care. Bye-bye.